First things first, let me show you how much it costs to make 3 days worth of juice for a liquid-only diet in the Bahamas. Now, ideally, you're going to want everything to be organic because you don't want pesticides and herbicides interfering with your healing. But if there are one or two items that you just can't seem to find organically, then of course you should just make do with your circumstances. You know your intentions and you should let that lead the way. Okay, so while we're here, I'm also going to show you a few little grocery prices so you get an idea of what we're working with. Here in the Bahamas, the Bahamian dollar is equal to the US dollar. So yes, those are US prices right there. It's not easy because the majority of our food in the grocery stores are imported, but this is just what we have to deal with for right now. So here it is. I spent around $70 for 3 days worth of juice. I also got one or two grocery items, but that was counteracted by the fact that I found discounted spinach. So overall, I ended up spending $70 for 3 days worth of juice. Let's just get into it. Okay, let's be real. With that price tag, we are not letting anything go to waste. So I boil the scraps with some water so that I can make a vegetable broth that I can use for soups or any sort of cooking like that. And I freeze the pulp into ice cubes so that it's easy and available to use in soups, crackers, smoothies, whatever, it's getting used. And later in this video, I'm also going to show you how to preserve it by turning it into a powder. So like I said, this is a zero waste process. Now let's get into the juicing process. Normally when it comes to green juice, my recipe remains about the same. I like to start with cucumbers and sometimes I'll add celery, but I will always use a bunch of spinach or random leafy greens that I found at the farmer's market. And for that little sweetness, I like to add 2 or 4 apples. And I'll finish it up with lemons or limes. It really depends on what's available at the time. Here's a pro tip for making vegetable juice. Whether you're doing it in a juicer or a blender, you're gonna want to start with a vegetable that has the highest water content first. That's just gonna make it a whole lot easier on your machine so they can grind up really nicely. For more details on how to effectively carry out your juice practices, check my Juicing 101 video linked above. In that video, I address all the beginner practices and principles that make this so effective. And I also share exactly how I create my intentional juice blends. My next favorite juice blend is the beet juice. I like to blend 4 beets with about 24 ounces of watermelon, preferably seeded watermelon, and I will blend that with 3 lemons or limes, again just depending on what's available. Now let's get into the preservation. As you can see here, I have some of the juice pulp in some ice cube trays, and I spread the rest of the juice pulp out on some dehydration trays so that they can dry out in my dehydrator for 3 hours on 175 degrees Fahrenheit. This slow process is going to help you retain some of its nutrients, but the benefits of this powder are mostly focused on being a great source of fiber.